All right, let's do it. I'll stop wasting time. I will. Last night, I was going to cliffhanger everybody, and right now would be the start of the Stanley Cup Final. Then Coco rated us. Twitch.tv/Coco Sport, of course. The man, the myth, the legend. My best friend who lives in Japan. Quite the caveat. Again, Twitch.tv/Coco Sports. We played the Stanley Cup Final, and we lost in 5 games to the Arizona Coyotes, their 4th cup in the Matthews-Bedard era. Of course, really, we lost the last game like 5-1. I hopped in to tie the game and then immediately gave them the winning goal. But, and Austin Matthews, raised the Stanley Cup at Scotiabank Arena. I don't know what we're doing this offseason. I really don't. I'm pretty sure we did look at the awards and everything because Connor Bedard was there. I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea. It's been the past couple seasons of I don't know what we're going to do. This season, we lost quite a bit of talents. Perry, Salmonen, and we're likely to lose more talent this year. But we'll see what happens. Apparently, right now, I'm in negative cap space as well. So, hi, am the Vegas Golden Knights. I went over the cap and still couldn't fucking win. How did Perry and Salmon end up doing? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. We know that Perry got paid a lot. Perry had 84 points. Career high. And Salmonen did about what he's expected to do. 50 points, 30 goals. So yeah, both benefited from being in the superior role. I mean, granted, they both would have been top 6. But, I mean, Perry had 290 shots. Yeah, you could tell. Perry was getting more of the puck. He was more of the guy. Always love the content, been watching YouTube for a long time since NHL 17. Damn! Well, J-Mac, welcome in. And thank you for being here. I know my stream time is not great for everybody, but I'm happy that you're here. And hey, now you know spoilers for the next 8 seasons or so of Leafs hockey. Spoiler alert, you haven't missed a goddamn thing. Not a damn thing. Let's do this. Let's do this. First and foremost, the lottery results, in which we will have the 8th overall pick thanks to Calgary offer sheeting Ullman. So we get the 8th overall pick from that Ullman offer sheet, which, to be honest, not bad. St. Louis moves up from 12 to 2, but not bad. Oh, you're right. It is 9th, not 8th. It was supposed to be 8th. So, thank you. Yeah, duh. Oh, God. SDS really made a conquest map that's shaped like a butt plug. Frank, don't tell me that, because now I gotta go look at I gotta load up the game and look at it. 9 and 31. Shh. Come on now. Sasha Barkov has indeed played his last game in the NHL. You know what's funny is everyone's like, Burakovsky's broken on your rosters. Like, okay, I mean, he ended up being, you know, really good, but like Nick Ehlers was better. So he's not that broken. Might be a little bit more broken than he should be, but it's not that broken. We do also have Minnesota's pick, yes. For whatever reason, Adrian Kempe just doesn't score goals. So. Defensively, Aaron Ekblad's gone. Forsling, good riddance. Good riddance. Matt Dumba, among others. And in goal, Shesterkin, Forsberg, Logan Thompson, Joseph Wall. Wow, Wall retired at just 34. That's early. So did Michael DiPietro, for that matter. A lot of staff retirements. Nobody became a coach or a scout. And we go to the 2033 draft. At best, we can trade up to the 5th pick with the New York Rangers. No franchise level player this year, and the 5th pick is looking like it'll likely be defenseman Kim Ackerman, unless we make a move and pair 2 first-round picks. So hold on. We actually got to figure this out really quickly. Is there anybody? Okay, well, there's Hika, who is very much worth it. Trevor Graham, not so much. He'll be about a 70. Ray Thompson, Simon Veilleux, I wouldn't say there's a go-to player. I mean, there is this guy who has a freaking A+ physical. That dude's going to be a beast. He's not bad. And also, yeah, Spike Dicka, which, hilarious. There are some players, Oda, Dicka, these guys are okay. Landon Owen, it looks like it could be a well-rounded draft class. Just finished rewatching my favorite series, the Boston College Eagles. Shout out to Picks McTurnover. I always have fun with the NCAA. Always do. And obviously we have the UTSA, the San Antonio run, out on that second channel. There's a lot of good depth in this class. It's just a matter of, would we rather try to trade up? You know, we acquire the 5th pick and then use the 5th and the 9th to land somebody from the top 3. There's this center, Max Bowman, lefty Nicholas Christensen. It's not bad. Frederick Forsberg. Stick him up so he's more of a 2-way. And then left wing Michael Reyes. And our scouts fucking love Michael Reyes. Honestly, overall depth might be the better way to go. Overall depth might be the better way to go. But, really quickly, that 5th overall pick from the New York Rangers. Frank duly noted. So yeah, we have 9, 21, and 31. And a 38th. Partovich has pretty good value. I don't know if we keep Emerton. He wasn't bad, but I just don't know if we keep him. Dickinson's a UFA, and we got to decide what to do with him. I do think we need some decent depth. Bowman goes first. Oh, God. Cooking chicken at 11 at night. Bam. Fair enough, Emerald. Fair enough. Do we go Sador, Clapperton? Honestly, guys, this might be it for Matvei Michkov. Sador, Clapperton, Weeks, Coleman for the right side. This might be it for Matvei Michkov. To reinvest in a 5th overall pick. He has never been a major point producer. Last year was his best season, then he fell off. Playoff-wise, he is historically good. But $12 million bucks. Otherwise, Weeks, Clapperton, or Coleman have to go. Left wing side. We're probably cashing out on UC Makala. He didn't have a very good playoff run. Cooley, Misa, Lume, Shantz. We got more decisions to make there. Got to free up that Bedard money. That's also a factor. We don't know if Connor Bedard has stuck with the Arizona Coyotes or not. Right now, Bedard does not have an extension. We could risk trading for him to get his signing rights. We'll keep that in mind. I almost want to leave it up to chance. I don't see how they can afford him either. We are going to send Matvei Michkov to the New York Rangers. The big piece for the Matthews-Marner deal. The Rangers actually might not be able to afford this. And he'll probably turn into a stud for them. But I'm sure the Rangers have dudes on expiring deals. And they do. They have Keandre Miller. They have Ethan Bear. They just re-signed Capo Caco. Ryan Lindgren. Bobby Brink. Miller's still really good, though, right? Yeah, he's an 87. What if we cut out Keandre Miller? We take on Bear, Lindgren, and Brink. So, I mean, this cuts into the return that we can get. But it is worth it. It is going to cut pretty heavily into the return that we can get. That is true. We waited for McDavid and he ended up signing. That is true. What if I use a third rounder from Chicago? Quite far off in terms of value. All right. St. Louis takes Christensen. Let's go back to the Rangers. There would have been a faster way to do this, but that's fine. Let's go back to the New York Rangers and see if we can pull this off. So let's say they try to hold on to Miller, but Bear, Lindgren, Brink. Take on these guys. Move on from Michkov, basically for the 5th overall pick. It won't go through on its own. We do have this goalie here in Martinson, who's not very good. He's kind of the perfect guy to use to push the value over the edge. I'm going to safety net it with these thirds really quickly, or at least 1/3. Again, they don't want to trade these guys, even though they definitely want to free up cap. Michkov and Martinson for the 5th overall pick. Done deal. The Matvei Michkov era here in Toronto has come to a close. It was time. It was time. It was time. So now we have 4 first-round picks. And some decisions to make. Including, do we trade for Connor Bedard's signing rights? The Coyotes do not have the money to sign him right now, if that's accurate. They already re-signed Gunther. They re-signed Doc for $9 million. I wanted to see if there were any other like super high-rated, interesting players. The Sabres are trying to move on from Rasmus Dahlin. But Dahlin's, 40, maybe 60-point guy, typically a 40-point guy. At his age, we do have younger defenders. Dahlin would be interesting in some ways. Yeah, with Arizona, the problem is it would have to be draft picks. That's the problem. It would have to be draft picks. There are quite a few players this offseason that are available, or at least that have lower trade value. So we need to try to quickly figure out what we want this team to be. Obviously, we'll let the next 2 picks go by relatively quickly. But we could go out, get Tim Stützle. Yeah, with that trade value, LOL. We could try to make an extra move if we felt the right deal was out there. We also have to be very careful with the money. Very careful indeed. So Colorado at 3 takes Forsberg. And Chicago at 4 takes Reyes. Which means we are handed Ackerman. Left defenseman Kim Ackerman. Who has tape to tape, which is phenomenal. It's a big player who can pass. Has a Brent Burns comparison. And for good reason. So, we got some things to do here. We got some things to do again now with 4 first-round picks. I don't know if we're going to make that pick, though. Emerton, Bardovich, Backstrom. We have to make a decision with our goaltending, in theory. We got to make a choice there. I don't think we have to make it now because RFA status. Defensively, it's Hartman and York, Ling and Bouchard. Can I get anything for Ryan Lindgren's signing rights? No. Probably not for Ethan Bear either. We got Kostopoulos on the right. Roll off. So Kostopoulos, Bouchard, York, Hartman, potentially Dickinson, and Ling. Unless we wanted to move on from Dickinson and not sign him to a big money deal, then we draft this defenseman. Can I get anything for Shea Theodore's signing rights? No, I cannot. We also have Quint. Getting closer to being ready. Crooks as well. Okay. So right now our big choice is sign Dickinson. If we don't, we take that 5th pick. And Bobby Brink, we know we won't keep. Clapperton has earned the right to step up. We could get Sebastian Aho's signing rights, but right side is Sador, Clapperton, Weeks, and Coleman next season. You should get Joey Gladstone. I wish. What about the Wall? His arch rival. Kuba, Wellwood, Makela could stick around. I think he's still an RFA. We don't really have a built-in replacement for him. Centers Cooley, Misa, Lume, Shantz. If we were to try to trade for Connor Bedard's signing rights instead of waiting to compete on the free agent list, I think we do have some pieces to try it. He seems to be our answer. They're not going to have the salary to keep him. So there's nothing inherently wrong with acquiring him to negotiate early. He might not even sign, to be honest. He's probably going to be asking for about $17 million a season on the open market, is my guess. What would we have? There's McEachern as a low elite, no abilities. There's Holmes, who we definitely want to keep. I can't give them Dickinson's signing rights. That would come back to haunt us big time. Big time. Defensively, Denny and McDermott. 3 low elites who are unlikely to make it, unless we're extremely unlucky. So McEachern, Denny, McDermott. I'd have to give them back somebody else's signing rights, and the problem is... Okay, that is going to be a problem. Who has cap space and roster spots? In the Western Conference, preferably. Seattle's been good for a while. But, yeah, we are going to have to use Ethan Bear and Ryan Lindgren. I don't know if I can do it in the same one, but if I can get Ethan Bear even for a 7th-round pick swap, we'll do it. What about a 6th-rounder? Let's go next year. Honestly, still give me a 6th-rounder. I have some trash. I'm drunk enough to play Ishel and sober enough to know what I'm doing. Hello, Deke. Deke, did you end up playing... God, what the hell was that game that you were going to check out? Spider-Man. Did you end up playing it? Did I miss a drunk Spider-Man stream? There we go. We shed the Ethan Bear contract. Can we pull this off? Can we pull this off? We know Bedard's going to leave the Coyotes at this point.
Here comes a pizza. See it?
Deke on the 46. You handsome devil.
Geez. Highly unnecessary.
All right, McEachern,
And of course, he's been asked to leave the ball game.
Denny, and McDermott as the basis for this trade. Will they do that on its own? No. We're still going to have to give up more just to get Connor Bedard's signing rights. Spider-Man's so good. I love that game. It was fantastic. Can I give up Brodeen? Still not enough. I'm still going to have to give them more than I would prefer to. What about Perot, the low 6? Quite far off in value. Jesus. Now, this is the negative side, is think about what we could use these assets for if it wasn't just hoping that Connor Bedard will sign with us. We could use all this to trade. So, okay. That's our big problem. Arizona doesn't have the cap space, no. They do if I take his deal. Without his deal, they have about $5 million left. Shout out to Stiffmeister for the raid, by the way. They don't have it in terms of cap space. They do have Shakir Mukhamadulin's contract expiring. Matthews is expiring, but he's getting a pay bump. Genther's getting a pay bump. Doc is getting a $5 million pay bump. Like, they don't have the money. More than likely, depending on what they do with Hemming and Beecher, it's really close. Deke, they've won 4 cups in 7 years, including just beating me in the Stanley Cup final in my own building. Austin Matthews raising the cup. Yeah. So, here's the dilemma. Here's the situation. Because we always run into these fucking dilemmas and situations. We could use these players that I am tempted to trade to get more picks in the draft. And then still potentially land Connor Bedard in free agency. Or we use this crop of assets to hopefully sign Connor Bedard, knowing that we can't do as much in what looks like a really stacked draft. It's a rough spot. I do want to look through the rest of the draft really quickly. Again, like Maciej Hika's there. Trevor Graham's 2 years out. If you're going to have this lower ability, I need you, or if you're going to have that lower potential, I need you to have an ability. Quentin Oda. That guy was looking pretty good. Spike Dicka, still a great name. There's a Lincoln Whitman, who's a bit of an X factor. I mean, all these guys are top 13. Landon Owens a year out. Jalen Wall. It's a deep looking draft. This guy has confirmed ice pack, but might be a medium 6. That's a little bit scary. Could end up being a high 6, which is actually a good potential, but that's a risky pick. Calle Olesen. It's a really deep first round. It is a really, really deep first round. This guy has close quarters, but I can't guarantee he has good potential. Trey Goodbranson, bit of a toss-up. Josh Cuff. It's a long shot. I mean, 3 out of 4 for medium elite's pretty dangerous. Hugo Vlasic. Dale Booth. I'm sure it wasn't that good. There's a goalie, Tim Cochran. This guy is going to be insane. So we're going to want to at least pick him up. And it drops off a bit from there. It drops off a bit from there. Except for Tony Kiprusoff, son of Mika. Maybe even grandson at this point. So Kipper's awesome. Jaden Ortmeyer has abilities. There's Marvin Piero Zabedel, but he has no abilities. Nicholas Mathers. There are some good players in the second round, too. There are some good players in the second round. Even Strudwick's not that bad. Alex Levesque. Bit of a toss-up. Fistrick. Bedard's a UFA. Cam Shan. Okay. We could use those assets to try and trade up a couple more times. That's if people want to trade, and they don't. 13, 14, 16. And if we look at who's available there, I mean, it is Whitman, Owen, Wall, Olesen. But will any of these options be better than Connor Bedard? You know, that's the issue. There's no doubt we could get some impeccable depth in this draft. But if it comes down to having first shot at re-signing Connor Bedard before he hits free agency, we have to do it. We have to. We're desperate. We have yet to really have that star player. We have had star players, but we've yet to have that star player who has been able to consistently score at an extremely high level. McEachern, Denny McDermott in the 96th pick is not enough, quite far off in value. I don't want a goalie cheese because I don't want to help them. Those three prospects and 2 third-rounders. For the moment, Connor Bedard is a Leaf. But will we be able to re-sign him? I'm telling you, he's going to want $15, $16, $17 million. And we will give it to him. But will he take it? Desperate times.